Today we're going to talk about gerunds and infinitives. Before we start, let's talk about what they are. So, what are gerunds? What are infinitives? Well, gerunds and infinitives are verbs that have been changed into nouns. Let's look a little bit at the form and function of a gerund. And what is a gerund? Well, a gerund looks like this. It's verb plus ing and it functions like a noun. For example, I like studying. Here, studying has the function of a noun, as mentioned already, and it is the object of like, okay, of the verb like. What is an infinitive? An infinitive looks like this. It's to plus the verb, and again, it functions as a noun. For example, I like to swim. Okay, here to swim functions as a noun again, and it is the object of the verb like. Let's talk about verbs and objects. And when we talk about this, we need to keep in mind that some verbs accept only infinitives. For example, agree, manage, offer, refuse, threaten, consent, etc., etc. And keep in mind that some verbs accept only gerunds, such as avoid, consider, suggest, enjoy, and practice. And some verbs accept both gerunds and infinitives, such as begin, can't bear, can't stand, continue, hate, like, love, and prefer. Let's move on now. So let's look at some examples. Example sentences. Some verbs accept only infinitives. For example, we don't say I hope traveling because traveling is a gerund. We say I hope to travel. Hope accepts only the infinitive to travel. Likewise, some verbs accept only gerunds. So, for example, I enjoy traveling. Traveling is a gerund, but we cannot say I enjoy to travel. To travel is an infinitive, and enjoy does not accept to travel. Next, some verbs accept both. For example, I like traveling and I like to travel. Okay, the verb like accepts both traveling, gerunds, and to travel, infinitives. Okay, let's talk about verbs that only accept infinitives now. And we're going to be looking specifically at this construction, which is verb plus object plus infinitive. Some verbs can be followed by an infinitive or an object plus infinitive. Such verbs, for example, are want, expect, cause, enable, entitle, live, persuade, save, and need. The meaning, of course, changes if an object is added. If the object is present, then the meaning changes. For example, she wants to travel. Here versus she wants us to travel. So here when I read this sentence, she wants to travel, I understand that she said that she should travel. She should do the traveling. But when I read she wants us to travel, I understand that she said that we should travel. Okay? So the meaning, keep in mind that the meaning changes if the object is added. Now let's look at gerunds and infinitives with the coordinating conjunctions and or. Okay? Quickly, I'm gonna read some sentences, and I want you to take about some time, 1 or 2 seconds after reading each sentence to think, is it correct or incorrect? Try to find the two which are incorrect. So, letter A, you like to travel and hike. Letter B, you like to travel and hiking. Letter C, you like traveling and hiking. Letter D, you like to travel and to hike. And letter E, you like traveling and to hike. Okay, take about 5 seconds to find which two are incorrect. Okay, letter B and E are both incorrect. And let's look at why they are incorrect. Okay, so with and or, you want to make sure that you either have two gerunds or two infinitives connected with and or. So make sure that both are either infinitives or gerunds. Okay, see, you like to travel and hiking. Here we have an infinitive and a gerund, and you like traveling, gerund, and to hike, infinitive. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that both are either infinitives or gerunds. So for example, gerunds, I like traveling and hiking. Infinitives, I like to travel and to hike. Another thing you want to note is that after the first infinitive, to is not necessary. So, for example, I want to travel, to fish, to swim, and to hike. But we can also say, I want to travel, fish, swim, and hike. Okay, let's talk a little bit about negation now. To negate, add non after the verb and before the infinitive or gerund. Easy peasy. So, with infinitives, we agreed to hike, we agreed not to hike. With gerunds, I suggest staying home, I suggested not staying home. Okay, quickly, let's do a quick summary and I'll end this presentation. So, some verbs only work with infinitives. For example, I hope traveling. No, that's a gerund. I hope to travel. Some verbs can only accept a gerund. So, I enjoy to travel. No, that's an infinitive. I enjoy traveling. And some verbs accept both. I like to travel. I like traveling. Some verbs can be followed by an infinitive or an object plus infinitive. They expect us to travel. Keep in mind that the meaning changes if the object is present or not. And two gerunds or two infinitives can be connected with and or, but they must be both gerunds or both infinitives. So I like traveling and hiking, or I like to travel and to hike. After the first infinitive, to is not necessary but acceptable. So I want to travel, to fish, to swim, and to hike, or I want to travel, fish, swim, and hike. And to negate, you just simply add not before the infinitive or gerund, not after, but before. So we agreed not to hike before the infinitive or the gerund. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, please email me, and I hope to see you in class.